is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach of Oregon.
Catch made. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We are closing in on the Pac-12 championship game. Oregon, Washington in Las Vegas, 5 o'clock. The broadcast begins on ABC. 3 o'clock, the broadcast begins for us across the Oregon Sports Network. We've got Dante Manning, Troy Franklin, Wilson Love, strength and conditioning coach for the Ducks, and of course, Dan Lanning with the Toyota Coaches Corner coming up as part of that 3 o'clock pregame show. College football playoff rankings came out last night. We've got quarterback Bo Nix. We've also got a number of other Oregon student athletes who've met with the media this week, including, but not limited to, Taki Taimani, Brandon Dorles, Evan Williams, Jackson Powers Johnson, and Marcus Harper. All of that coming up for you on today's show. In addition to GoDucks.com editor-in-chief Rob Mosley talking a little football and volleyball. Postseason volleyball tomorrow at Matthew Knight Arena. The Ducks are in action in the second game of the session. GoDucks.com for all of your tickets. Southeastern Louisiana is the opponent, 7 o'clock. Knight Urezki's got the call, everybody. He's directing Duck Insider today, and the voice of the Oregon volleyball team has you covered coming up. ESPN Plus, KWVA, all of the bases are covered for the broadcast here coming up. Ducks in the postseason. Round of 64 and the round of 32 are at Matthew Knight Arena this week. And here's hoping that the football championship game, for those of you that don't make the trip to Las Vegas, say it's like 35-0 at halftime. Maybe you're just going to go and tune into the OSN broadcast in one ear while you're at Oregon volleyball at 7 o'clock on Friday. Ducks got to get through Southeastern Louisiana first, but then it could be a matchup in the round of 32 with, well, we'll find out after the results come through on Thursday. Right, Knight? Yeah, see, this is a good plan for everybody today. We'll talk about that. Also, men's basketball with a big game coming up against Michigan. 12:30, the broadcast underway and the tip time. And then, of course, I'll have the call starting with a noon pregame show. It's going to be a fun time. Throwback game. Throwback pricing on concessions to the last time Oregon played Michigan. Let's just say it was a little cheaper last time Oregon played Michigan. Going to be some fun giveaways, too, including a free Nike t-shirt. What else do we have for you today? Well, let's hear from Bo Nix after we talk a little college football playoff rankings. The football team moved up to number 5 in the penultimate college football playoff rankings on Tuesday night. 11th time in program history, Oregon has been in the top 5 of the CFP rankings, the first since November 14th of 2021. The Ducks are 11-1, 8-1 in Pac-12 play, playing number 3 in the CFP rankings, Washington, 12-0, 9-0 in conference action in the Pac-12 championship game, of course, coming up at 5 o'clock on Friday. Ducks have appeared in the CFP rankings 39 times since it began in 2014. The entirety of the CFP rankings probably don't surprise you much. The Ducks sitting at number 5, they are still the top-ranked one-loss team. The rest of it, well, Georgia's number 1. Washington, I said, was number 3. Michigan's in there too. Florida State also. Those are undefeated teams. It makes sense. But the way that I look at this, 3 versus 5, you win, you're in. Let's make it simple. Win, you're in, I think. You win the Pac-12 championship, Ducks are going to be playing in the college football playoff. On that note, quarterback Bo Nix, he met with the media yesterday, previewing Friday's Pac-12 championship game. Here's the Duck QB.
Talked early in the season about the importance of deep throws, certain accuracy. Last 5-6 games, your deep throws have been on point. The touchdown that you had to Troy at ASU in that really tight window, and you're making some really elite throws right now. What's been different the last 5-6 games in that way?
Well, I think the preparation's been really good. I think we've been practicing at a high level, and then I just think I've hit a really good rhythm at the right time. And all week or all year we've been putting together something, and we've been trying to be really accurate and really efficient with all of our throws, and when they're open, hitting them. And I feel like we've done a really good job of that here lately.
A lot of these guys said they've thought about that loss last time every single week. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, the loss column, that one next to it. It's been with us all year, and I think it's really turned our season around. I think we've responded really well because of it.
Do you feel like you guys are playing your best football, offense, defense, special teams right now?
Yeah, I do. I think we've hit our stride. I think we're playing really good. I think we're playing really well together. I think we've put together a rhythm, and I think we have just gotten a lot better as the year's gone on. And week by week, we've been making improvements, and we've put ourselves in a good position.
You personally, what areas from the first Washington game are you looking to improve on? Are there certain aspects that you feel like maybe you could have shown better?
Yeah, I just think the whole I think operation, as far as like making explosive plays and staying on the field on fourth downs, and just getting those moments and making the most of them when they're the big situational moments. I think that's where ultimately we lost last time. And I think we have been more prepared now. I think the season's allowed us to play good situational football but at the end, and I think we're ready to regroup and go out there and play again and not put ourselves in those situations.
How much, when you talk about the situation in particular, you don't have to say what it is, but how much different or how much more is there available to you guys now in some of those spots, play-wise, scheme-wise, than maybe 6 weeks ago?
Well, I just think, we found, ultimately what we're good at, and we're kind of in stride with that. We're in tune with that. Coach Stein is putting us in a really good spot to succeed, and he's calling the right plays at the right time. And, unfortunately, the first game we just missed a few opportunities, and it comes down to really just a few plays. And I think that in these kind of games, that's usually what it comes down to, is just a few plays.
This second half of the season, Tez has had just an unbelievable year. Just what do you feel like has allowed that to happen? What is he doing differently? What are you seeing with him to hit him in stride?
Well, I think he practices extremely hard, as well as Troy and those other guys. And when you practice hard, when you work hard, I think good things happen, and the ball just naturally finds you. And I think also we've gotten really good situations and gotten matchups and been able to exploit those. And he's just really come on as the year's gone on. He's really become a very good 1B to Troy. I think he's been available, and he's been at practice. He's been available in all the games, and when you play as much as those guys have, the ball finds you, and they just get open. They have a knack for getting open, and I think he's just doing a really good job of that right now.
Kind of sticking with those two, what's made them such a good complement together? Why are they such a tough 1-2 punch to defend?
Well, because I think they're very smart football players. They put themselves in really good situations against defenders. They understand leverage and understand route running, and they understand, between quarterback and receiver, connection. They just understand it. They understand ball placement and how to get open and how to, make windows. And at the end of the day, they're just able to move around inside, outside, all over the field. And they play off of each other really well. And it's just hard to guard those two at the same time.
You made pursuing a championship such a big part of coming back.
Yeah.
All right, and there's still more that you hope to even after this. But what's the key to getting here, Bo? Like, you've beaten rivals, you've won in road games, you've played top 5 teams, you've done all these things at other places. But what was the key to making this team capable of getting to at least this point?
Well, when it came down to it, when it came down to the big games, the big moments, as the year went on, after we lost one, we just made those situations work. We made, those plays when we needed them, and we've had huge wins since, and we've put ourselves in situations to play for a championship. And all we got to do Friday is just go out there and execute at a high level, and just don't beat ourselves. And I think when we do that, when we put ourselves in the best situation possible, I think we have a really good chance. And they're sitting over there saying the same thing. So it's going to be whoever can execute at the highest level, and whoever can make plays when their number's called. And the good thing is that we've had the past few weeks to really build off of, and to go out there and be confident when our name is called so that we can make plays.
What's the key to blocking out some of the noise with maybe the Heisman and those individual accolades and staying focused? What's the key for you for that?
Well, it's just staying off TV, staying off social media has helped me a lot. All I am around is the guys, the locker room, the coaches, and practice and meetings. And I pretty much just stay up here all day and just get to work and prepare and make sure that at the end of the day, when it's a big moment, it's not me who's messing it up for the team. I just want to be as prepared as possible, and I want to put our guys in the best situation to go out there and win the game.
That's Bo Nix, Oregon quarterback, meeting with the media. And next, the GoDucks.com editor-in-chief, Rob Moseley, who somehow always has impeccable timing, is next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mac in the Country Financial Studio. Rob Moseley's here, too, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Rob, how's your week going, man?
My week is pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of going on. There's a lot to, plan for. It's personally, or, you're transitioning now towards the holiday season. So,
right.
What's all that going to look like?
Did you finish your shopping yet?
Yeah. I don't give a lot of gifts. I don't get a lot of gifts either. Basically, except for my brother's kids. That's I'm at the point now with my brother and my stepbrothers. We don't exchange gifts amongst us anymore. It's everybody's got kids. Just give them stuff.
Yeah. It's nice when you get there.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to get there. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Just give him stuff.
I was marveling the other day. Sunday, I had to drive over in the area of the Valley River Center. And it's, 15, 20 years ago, going there on Sunday after Thanksgiving would be chaos.
Right.
And it just wasn't. Just the nature of shopping has changed so much from what it used to be.
Yeah.
Not to sound like one of the olds, but it's different these days. Yeah.
But hey, I have found that since becoming a dad, I have online shopped way more.
Oh, no, I almost exclusively shop.
It's just, I need to get that.
Right.
Putting him in a car seat,
easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I totally get it.
No doubt. No, I'm and it's not like I'm not one with the times. I am. It was just that
You're
moment kind of pulling over the over the Delta Highway overpass, and then you kind of come down, and BJ's is right there, and then the mall parking lot. And I was expecting traffic to be nuts, every spot in the lot to be full, and it's just Not that I was surprised that wasn't the case. It was just very striking.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, football coming up. Friday Night Lights in Sin City.
We're going to talk about sports.
Eventually.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I mean,
look,
the Joey and Rob segment, the Quack Minute is right to the point.
Right.
Let's just get to it. Right. Your stories on GoDucks.com. Get to it. This is our chance to come out of left field
just
a little bit.
Let it breathe.
Let
the conversation breathe.
As two, baseball. We like left field.
Yes.
Don't we?
Yes.
I mean, it
and
gives
plus
us a chance.
One thing that's great about baseball, too, is the spaces in between to just sort of let your mind wander.
Hey, we were just talking about this, actually, because we were having a large debate here in the studio, as we do before we go on the air and on the air. Do you find, and have you found, because it has completely changed my job. This is why I'm asking this. The pitch clock totally changed how I call a game.
Yeah.
Like, do you find in your coverage and in your job and even like your consumption of the sport that it's different now?
Professionally, it doesn't strike me. As a consumer, I hate it.
Really?
I hate it so much.
Huh.
It just moves so fast. I hate it.
Huh.
I hate it.
I think you're in the minority.
I hate being at games. I hate, being at big league games with the pitch clock now compared to how it used to be.
I mean, it's like on average one less beer per game now.
Now you're talking about
language. See, I get it. No, I understand that part.
I was just going to sort of ask people to read between the lines, but if we're just going to put it all out there.
I'm just saying it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like you're in the middle of your second beer, and it's like, oh, beer sales are about to end. Wait, what? It's the 6th inning already?
Do you think, this would be an interesting question to our friends that work in Major League Baseball. Like, have concession sales decreased but attendance increased? Like, what's the math there in terms of revenue? I'd be curious about that.
I don't know that. But, yeah, no, you've hit on a bugaboo of mine. Yeah, I do not like it.
Yeah, so it's totally like the baseball broadcaster.
Yeah.
You find a way to tell a story while you're calling pitches, right? Like that's part of what we do to fill the time in between pitches. I did that so much less last year. Like I felt like I never told like a cool story about Tanner Smith because it was like, well, the inning's over, never mind.
Well, you probably were out of cool Tanner Smith stories at that point.
Not
that there aren't
he's
a lot,
bad example. A cool Dominic Hellman story.
Sure, yeah,
how about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it totally changed the way that I did a game.
Didn't like it.
So okay, well, good. We're out of left field now. Football
Friday
night.
Yeah,
I like the short week. How about you?
I mean, technically, is it a short week because I played Friday last week?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I like playing Friday.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get to it.
No doubt. And then you get to the weekend. Although, like last weekend was really weird. It was like trying to figure out what day it was a little hard.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of your Sunday work Saturday while watching other games? Because that's what I did.
A fair amount, yeah. I definitely got ahead on like some stat lookup stuff, like the newsletter for Monday for sure.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. Yeah, it just right now it's things are just coming so fast and furious. Again, as we all talk about the overlap between sports, but then with the holidays coming up on a personal level, but then where this football season is going and what potentially is on the horizon. Next week is a huge week with the Hall of Fame induction and hopefully Bo needing to go to the Heisman ceremony. There's so many moving parts right now. I almost, on a personal level, I almost kind of appreciate it because I think the fact that Oregon is about to go play Washington for the Pac-12 championship and potentially a spot in the playoff, and try to avenge a loss from earlier this year, I think I would be stuck to the frickin' ceiling with like anxiety and like
but you
anticipation.
Haven't even been able to process it.
I think I've like avoided being like distracted a little bit.
Good.
Or enjoyed being distracted a little bit. Yeah, because otherwise I would the anxiety would just be through the roof.
This is good. I'm glad that worked out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, though. Volleyball postseason, we've talked about that. Men's basketball's big game against Michigan that's going to have a lot of throwback elements to it, including the cups. The concession cups are really cool. Ducktown USA is back, and the old Pepsi logo.
Wait, was that a thing back in the day?
Apparently.
I'd never heard that.
I neither.
Yeah,
this was news. This was news to me. But yeah, like look at the like soaring duck.
Wait, so was it
logo.
Ducktown before Tracktown, and that's where Tracktown came from?
I don't know that.
Okay.
As the person who, I would say you're more of the Oregon athletics historian than me.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, so maybe it's completely a new thing, and we're calling it
try to make
Ducktown
it a thing.
USA. We're making it a thing. It either was a thing or we're making it a thing.
We can't make it a thing. We can
People
try.
can make it a thing.
Well, the masses will determine whether it becomes a thing.
That's right. But that's how it's supposed to work.
Totally.
You know?
And I say all the time, a great thing about working at Oregon is we can just kind of throw stuff out there.
Yeah.
And some of it takes and some of it doesn't.
Yeah.
But we're kind of forgiven for just trying a bunch of stuff because that's kind of our brand.
That's a nice brand to have.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. We've certainly, you and I, both, I bet, have thrown things at the wall. And it hasn't stuck.
Plenty has not.
But you know, the ones that have,
right.
like, you've been doing the Quack Minute now for almost a decade.
No way.
Yeah. True story. Wow. Yeah.
Time flies.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But we've talked about this. You're a young soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to be.
Keys to the game, what do you think?
Whew. Don't turn it over.
Yep.
Just don't turn it over.
You know, they've lost the turnover battle in, like, the majority of their games this year, and somehow they're undefeated.
There was some wacky stat, like the 3 games after ours, it was like or maybe a 3-game run that included ours. It was like they lost the turnover battle, they got outgained, and there was some other metric, and they'd still won, and, like, no team had done that in, like, decades.
Yeah, that's right. They've bucked the trend of,
yeah.
of those, like, metrics of or analytics of win probability.
Right. But they figure out how to win, and that's so dangerous. That makes a team so dangerous. I mean, they're never going to feel like they're out of it. They're never going to doubt themselves, and that just makes a team so dangerous.
Yeah, I'm with you. I you know, there's something like, I think it's a little bit of an overused cliche, but like learning how to win.
100%.
It's a big deal.
100%. Like learning how to close out a tight game.
Yeah.
You know, hang on at the end. Say you've got a lead, to protect it. And not kind of let things slip. That's 100% a real thing. And yeah, some teams just have it, or players have it inherently, and so you don't really have to learn it. But there are certainly cases I've seen over the years where a team has to learn it or a player has to learn it for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
Yeah,
look, it's
got it.
Oregon, Washington.
Oh, it's going to be bonkers.
It's going to be
great. Absolutely bonkers.
It's supposed to be sold out. It's been sold out a long time. And,
Yeah.
you know, I should say, I'm sure you've gotten some of these questions, comments too. Like, the way that it works when there's an allotment for a game like this ticket-wise is then there's an order that's given to season ticket holders and Duck Athletic Fund members, and I'm sure you similar. Like, I heard from a few people that were like, dude, I didn't even get to my time slot yet, and it was already sold out. So to those fans, I hope that you had some luck getting a ticket, but also, like, way to go, fans, for selling it out before it even got out to the general public.
No doubt.
Like,
Yeah.
that says something.
But if you go on Ticketmaster now and you look at some of the prices on the resale
it's pretty
market, it's not. Yeah, you can get in for you know, considering the magnitude of the event, you can get in for a pretty reasonable price, all things considered. So, yeah, hopefully there's some fans down there. I mean, you think back to the showing we saw at Arizona State, you know, and it's not that far distance-wise. So, you know, if we could get something approximating that sure was special.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He's Rob Mosley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. So that's football. Certainly a lot to discuss, but also volleyball this week, Thursday, Friday. I said this before you came in, Rob. Like, here's hoping that it's 35-0 at halftime on Friday,
right?
And Oregon volleyball was victorious in their 7 o'clock matchup on Thursday, because then all the fans that are here in Eugene can just maybe, you know, throw a headphone in, listen to Jerry and Georgie having fun in the second half, and then you're at volleyball for a 7 o'clock start in the round of 32 at Matthew Knight Arena.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a situation you want to be in where they're both playing right now, but it is kind of an unfortunate overlap.
Timing,
I really want our volleyball team to get to the Final Four, which was the case anyway. But you know, that might be the next chance I get to watch them. So
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, here's to them going on a long run that starts this weekend for sure. And you know, it's a really special team. It's a really special group of seniors. You know, presumably this is the last chance to watch them in Eugene unless something wacky happens. So I hope there's a pretty good showing for them, but certainly understanding what else is going on Friday. You can understand how some people are going to feel torn.
There's a lot going on Friday, and then like you touched on, you know, Hall of Fame coming up, the Heisman ceremony. There's so much pomp and circumstance as the Ducks will take a few days off for Oregon football after the Pac-12 championship, but then it's right back to bowl prep wherever that may be.
It's finals week for them, right?
And it is finals week, exactly. Yeah, so things get going in a hurry, and there's a lot going on. But that's why we have a daily show, Rob.
Right.
And that's why you
So you
write
can
on the
cover it all.
website every day.
Yeah. I don't know if I write every day.
There's something new on the website.
100%. Yeah, contrary to what my mom thinks, I'm not writing every single word that's on the website.
But you edit.
I do.
See?
I do. If I see a typo, I fix it.
I mean, the name is editor-in-chief.
Right.
right? Right. Emphasis on in chief.
Right. Over all those other editors.
That's right. That's
all. Those people need to be reminded who the boss is around here.
Oregon volleyball, though, tickets are available. GoDucks.com Thursday and Friday. We're looking forward to it. And then I did want to touch a little bit on basketball. This has been a big game for a lot of reasons. Like, there's always kind of one or two marquee non-conference matchups that are outside of the multi-team events, the tournaments like the Ducks participated in Florida. If you haven't heard, Nate Biddle and Folly Dante going to be down at least for a few weeks. They're going to be reevaluated. That means that the team has had to adjust. A lot of guard-oriented play that we saw, and now they have a few extra days to get ready for a Michigan team that has taken like 4 years to finally make it to Eugene. And so there's going to be a lot of throwback elements to the game. I talked about the concession prices and also the T-shirt giveaway. Like, this is a big game. 12:30 tip-off on Saturday, right in the middle of your day. I'm looking forward to a great showing for Oregon basketball, and also I think for a Matthew Knight Arena crowd that could really make a difference for a team that needs a little bit of a boost right now.
No doubt. I think you think about when you think about teams that are guard-oriented, one thing you think about is three-point shooting and that being the great equalizer. And I'm not sure there's an element of play other than maybe just sort of overall defensive intensity that can be influenced by the energy of a crowd responding to, you make a shot and the crowd responds, then it just feels like the next one's going to go in and then the next one's going to go in. Sometimes when you have a football game like Fridays, you don't mind potentially like staying overnight afterward, particularly if there's going to be a win to celebrate. Not that you ever know that going in, but it's going to be nice to come back Friday night after the football game and be back for that basketball game Saturday. It's a show-me game for and I think the women have a couple of those this week too. Playing at Portland tomorrow and playing at Baylor. That's another team that has significant injuries have been a factor already, and so they're trying to find out some new things. They kind of ironically enough are finding that going bigger has been helpful for them. With Sarah Rambis, a freshman of theirs, looking like a contributor, which allows Grace Van Sluten to move from the 4 to the 3. You got Philly Che there, so. Again, sort of a different,
dynamic.
Different dynamic there. Yeah, that's a good choice of words. But kind of trying to make it work, and so kind of both of those teams are going to have games where they start to get a even better sense of kind of those new directions they're thinking of forging. Are going to be successful.
Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Thanks, dude.
Hey, thank you.
Always good to see you on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
thanks for getting us over the hump.
When are we doing this again?
Next week.
I won't be here.
You won't be here next week?
No.
Where are you going next week? I don't remember.
Well, Vegas is the Hall of Fame thing is Tuesday.
Hall of Fame is
I don't
Tuesday?
think I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hall of Fame
Hopefully going
Tuesday.
right from there to New
Wait,
York.
I think you should actually – I realize now that people may not realize what we're talking about with the Hall of Fame. You should inform.
Yeah, so LaMichael James, I think we've known for a year he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, but the ceremony will take place next Tuesday back in Vegas. So
are you just gonna?
You're
gonna. I was gonna say you're just going back.
Darn. Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No.
But then I think hopefully, then we'll just go right from there back east for the quarterback.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. And then is last week the last week of shows or?
Let's see. The last Duck Insider is scheduled this year for December 15th, and actually, some people have been asking about this. So
we'll be around for that.
The reason that we don't do one the week leading up to Christmas is twofold. One, depending on where Christmas falls, like sometimes, like there was one year we did one Duck Insider that week because usually basketball, there's also 1 or 2 basketball games that are in the afternoon that week, so we end up not doing a show that day anyway. And then depending on where Christmas falls, then we're often traveling for a bowl game.
Right.
So it just ends up being a crazy year or crazy time of year in addition to the holidays. So we've still got 2 more. So I'm just going to go ahead cancel that calendar appointment for
Sounds
you on
good.
the 6th. That's just going to hit that delete button for you right there. Only this event. You're confirmed. So no Rob Moseley next week. Maybe we'll just have to like read your story from the Hall of Fame induction for LaMike, and I'll just read that on the air in my best Rob Moseley voice and just say that's your segment.
That's my contribution.
Sure.
Boom.
Great. Well, we'll see you on the tarmac tomorrow, huh?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. When we come back, a few more student-athlete interviews that we haven't yet gotten to. Stick with us. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Make the most of your holidays with a new Toyota at Toyotathon. From ski trips to holiday shopping, you'll be thanking yourself all season long.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers end December 5th. Toyotathon ends January 2nd. Participating dealers only. Toyota. Let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Make the most of your holidays with a new Toyota at Toyotathon. From ski trips to holiday shopping, you'll be thanking yourself all season long.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers end December 5th. Toyotathon ends January 2nd. Participating dealers only. Toyota. Let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mac here in the Country Financial Studio. We just heard a bit from Rob Mosley, heard from Bo Nix earlier. Now let's hear from the defensive side of the ball, beginning with Taki Taimani. He knows Washington well. The transfer from Washington, now full Duck. And if you couldn't tell that already, just listen to this conversation. Taki Taimani after practice.
Go back to last week first. How nice was that tackle from behind on Martinez where I think you went from the A gap to off the C gap there.
It was good, just kind of using the things I've learned over the week and just realizing like Oregon State kind of shied away to their inside run game and kind of were trying to hit us on the edge. So the ability for me to just use that and just kind of get off my block and just make it down there. And lost a little weight, so it made it a little easier too. So it was fun. That was a fun game, especially in Autzen, man. Fans showed out. I think the team showed out. We showed what we could do, and I'm just happy we came out with a win.
What's different about Washington's run game compared to when you played them earlier in the year?
They kind of shied back to it. I think they're relying on it a lot more. I think they're becoming a more balanced team, but they still can take those deep ball shots. I think Penix does a good job of that, of keeping the defenses honest. But I think they are starting to use that run game. I think those young guys there are finally starting to click. So for them, it's just they're trying to set the tone and show how physical they are. And for us, it's like we're trying to stop the run and show how physical we are. So I think it's going to be interesting this Friday to see how it goes.
How has this team improved since last time you guys have played yourself as a team?
You talking us as a team, like Oregon?
Yeah.
I think we just show. I think just our DNA traits. We just after that Washington loss, man, that was a rough one. I think that really hit home to a lot of us. That's not the outcome we wanted, and I think we just kind of came in, went to the doctors, and we just were like, it's one or done every week. Like that's how you have to attack every week. And I think that's how we attacked in the shows. And I think the way we practiced was a lot physical. I think that week after too was a rough week because we were just trying to take each other's heads off. We had a lot of built up anger, but I think just showing how tough and physical we are and how we can just strain. I know Lanny talks a lot about it, but I think he's done a great job. And the coach has done a great job of just allowing us to realize that like each day we need to come in here to get better because a lot of teams get worse towards the end of the season, whereas we can use that opportunity to get 1% better every day.
How's that energy kind of shown itself in practice this week?
Oh, it's good. It's just we're all out there. We're like I try to tell the D-line, man, we're lucky to be here. There's not a lot of teams playing this week, so just given the another week of football, especially as a senior, like I think it just means a lot to me, and I think I echo that into the defense and into my room. I'm like, why not today? Like, why not be blessed for where we're at? I know our bodies hurt. Like we all talk about like But it's just one of those things. This thing that comes with football. If you love the game that much, you just kind of have to just come with that mindset of like every day's a work day for me. And I think Landings is still that in us, and I think we're doing a great job, and we're just going on by now.
You talked before the last Washington game about some of the Twitter trash talk you were getting, and just some of their fans throwing that your way. Has it been the same experience this week?
Not really. There's just like small talk, but it's like, to me, it's like I realize that like there's a lot more to focus on, like the little things and just like kind of cleaning up my stuff. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from Twitter this week. I think my biggest focus is what can I do? That was my big focus, like what can I do? And mine was my prep and how I'm attacking the game, how my film study looks like. So I just kind of like, all right, let me stay out Twitter for the week, and then we'll have fun on Saturday, maybe.
How much does the entirety of these past 2 years, Taki, but especially this series? So, like, people joke about the NFL being scripted. I mean, you got to come back last year off an injury against them. You got to go back up there against them, and now you get a championship game against them. I mean, this is, for you, what does this feel like? I'm just blessed to be in the opportunity I'm in today, man, to play that team. The record might not look what it wants to be, but just to get another shot to play a lot of those guys that I knew and I grew up with, but I kind of started college with, I still talk to a lot of those guys. I talked to them this week, and we first thing we did was just talk about where we started as freshmen in college and like talking about just our goals in life. And I think now it's just like being able to play them and just that one last game as a senior against a rival school that I left. So it's just, I'm just excited. I just almost let it all out there. And I kind of echoed that to my guys, like we just got to let it all out on Friday.
In reviewing the first game, what are the things the defensive line needs to improve their play to get the right result this time?
I think we need for us, I think our biggest emphasis was just kind of QB lanes and just getting to the QB. I think, and then the biggest one is the ball is an issue. I don't know if you guys hear that, but we always talk about that. And it's just the opportunities we leave of getting strip sacks when QBs are just sitting back there, just kind of, when we're attacking the QB and like sometimes we'll wrap him, but we won't really, go for the ball. And I think that shows the biggest thing we have to kind of echo on, because that's what they're doing in the league right now. Like they could care less for a sack. They're all attacking the ball. Like if you notice a lot of these guys attacking the ball. So for us, it was just like, we got to attack the ball. We got to put pressure on him, man. Penix is a good quarterback. They have a good offensive line. It's like, we got to be physical. We got to be a lot more physical. We got to just kind of set the tone early.
On that kind of same note, Jordan Burch was really disruptive the last 2 weeks, especially against a really good Oregon State offensive line. Just what have you seen from him during the second half of the year to kind of take his game to the next level?
The juicy is. I think he started off a little slow. We talked about it. And I think just him being able to just kind of step up and finally like feel a lot comfortable in the defense and just kind of show out and show everyone the ability he has and why he came here. And I think he's just showing out now, and I'm happy for him. Like I think he's been doing a great job setting the edge, getting after QBs, and it shows. And I'm glad he's just eating right now. So
what do you mean by that with him, like juice? What do you mean?
Like he just like, it's like a swagger. Like juice for me is like you just play a certain way. You kind of like. You act like, in a way, it's like you just kind of act the fool. Like, have you ever heard of that? Like, not act the fool too, right? But like, just kind of like, you just out there like, I'm like, you kind of say that self-talk is high because you've been through your preparations, you've been on top of your preparation. It's just like, that's what comes with like that juice. Like game day is like you ran multiple situations in your head. You busted your ass all weekend. So it's like, you out there like, I'm that guy. Like, and I think finally seeing that out of him, it's like, that's a big old dude to be doing that. Like, and we got some juice. So I think, he's just finally clicking. I think he's going to have a good game this weekend.
Was there a game where you kind of remember it looking like it started to click? Like I know Colorado was kind of his coming out.
Oh, yeah,
party.
Colorado. I think Colorado and SC too. I think SC too. I think he tackled his one of his buddies from SC from, we call it the fake SC, no hate. It's just me. It's a beef between me and Birds in the D-line. We all beef about it. Talk about who's the real SC, but just him tackling his boy, man, I just seen the way he just like attacked it, and to understand that like you guys are boys, but we're at different schools, we're wearing different clothes, and sometimes I have to do what I got to do. And I think just seeing that, I was like, oh yeah, he's here. I was like, oh, that's the Jordan I've been looking for. So I think just him showing his talent and kind of showing the world what he got is very exciting.
Taki Taimani knows this game well. I'm sure it means an awful lot to him, as you heard there. When we come back, a little bit more from the defensive line and Brandon Dorles, guy who's been a big impact for Oregon this season. More after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Make the most of your holidays with a new Toyota at Toyotathon. From ski trips to holiday shopping, you'll be thanking yourself all season long.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers end December 5th. Toyotathon ends January 2nd. Participating dealers only. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Make the most of your holidays with a new Toyota at Toyotathon. From ski trips to holiday shopping, you'll be thanking yourself all season long.
Dealer inventory may vary. Current offers end December 5th. Toyotathon ends January 2nd. Participating dealers only. Toyota. Let's go places.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Heard from Taki Taimani, another guy along the defensive line. How about a bit from Brandon Dorles? He's a go-getter. We know that, and he has been all year long. And certainly this game, I think, means a lot to him, especially coming off that loss. You hear a little bit of that in the tenor of his voice here.
Why is this defense better than the last time you guys have played Washington?
I feel like this team, not just defense, but bought into, constant improvement. Like, what can we do better? After that loss, it left a nasty feeling in our mouth. So, we watch that game every week. How can we improve? And I feel like we're hungrier. We got more physical. We're more amped up. And I feel like we're confident in each other. And I feel like it's going to be a great show on Friday.
You watch this game every week, or?
I know I watch this game every week because I know I also want to get my get back, so now it's time to get it.
What are you focusing on in those watches?
Taking Michael Penix out. Yeah.
He's been quite different statistically since you guys played him. There's a lot of talk about whether or not he's playing hurt.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'd have no idea, but do you feel like you guys may have dinged him up a little bit in that game?
Yeah, for sure. You can always see it in that character, like how they act playing the games. And, it's not just like his hit him all the time. If you just get him his feet off the spot, that affects him a lot. Coach Tosh says, he's just standing in the pocket, just standing there. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. But we get them feet moving out of his spot and don't let him get the rhythmic throws, and then he's a standard quarterback.
You guys feel like you did a good enough job of that the first time you faced them?
Oh, no. I feel like we had plenty of opportunities to get, not just hit him, but get some ball shots on them, run, reach, strip sacks, and, change the games, those like splash plays, scoring defense type plays we need. So I feel like this defense knows we can hit him, and he knows that we can hit him. So I feel like it's going to be a great time. First play, that's the goal.
Brandon, what a curtain call for the Pac-12, potentially the CFP on the line, a Heisman Trophy potentially on the line. Have you had a moment to just kind of reflect on how special this will be?
We all see it. It's always on the outside noise. It's exciting, exciting time to play football. This is what we worked for, since January. We always talked about it. We do our job. We're gonna be right in positions, and we all smell it. It's right there in our hands. So now we just got to finish the job.
Is the energy in practice a little bit different this week because of that, or is it kind of just business as usual?
If you watch the practice, it's business. We know what's at stake, and our goal is just to go to the championship. It's to win the championship and get into the playoffs.
What makes their tackles a challenge in individual matchups? What's difficult about them?
They have really savvy tackles.
throughout the game, they won't give you one type of set. You know, they'll angle set you a couple of times, then they'll be aggressive, short set you, and then they might change it and go back to being patient. So in that time, you have to learn, what are you going to do to change up? You know, you can't always go speed of power. You got to change your move. I'm going to go finesse here. Finish back inside on this move. So it's like checkers and chess. Like, you can't just be out there throwing the same moves. And one thing about I like playing against Troy and those tackles. It's fun.
Jordan Burch has had a couple of really good games against USC and Oregon State, and it really seems to kind of be clicking for him in the second half. So what have you seen from him?
Nah, he's just sticking to what he works. You know, early in the season, he was hot. You know, started off hot. You know, he felt like he falling off, but we just work. I just keep working. You know, it's a long season, and if you keep working, everybody's gonna see the work you put in. And it's not just like sacks he's put on film. He's putting effort plays. You know, running to the ball, screen plays. You know, those are the type of plays NFL teams want to see, and those are the type of plays that help us win. So he keeps doing that. We're gonna keep playing him.
The spin move that he put on Fuaga to set up Mateo's sack on DJ. Have you guys seen much of that in practice? Is it the first time we've seen it?
What?
The spin move that Burch put on?
Oh no, you know, Burch, he has plenty of moves. You know, the spin, we don't always try to work the spin because it's kind of dangerous. You never know when the guard's gonna come back and get you. So when we know the guard's not gonna leave us alone, we'll go back in there.
What's your favorite pass rushing move?
I'm not gonna say that on Sunday. Come on, man. I can't give up my tricks.
Their run game is different since you played them. Dylan Johnson's had a bigger role.
Yeah.
What's different about him when you look at him now compared to 6 weeks ago?
Even with Dylan, I feel like he's kind of banged up too. After watching this game last week, you know, he wasn't really running the same since we played him. He's a great back. He's the only back to rush 100 yards on us, and we take that personal. I feel like we're the best run stop defense in the nation, so we have to go show them that what we about.
How beneficial is it to face this team twice and kind of have that prior knowledge of what they'd like to do?
Yeah, like Coach Tony said to me this morning, like, we know what they're going to do, and they know what we're going to do. So it's about who's going to adjust, who's going to have less mistakes, you know. It's not going to be a clean game. Everybody knows that. Stuff is going to happen, but it's always how can you stay high, and like not get too low on those type of plays.
If you had to defend a fourth down like they ran this past week, we realized they did it in their own territory as a goal line, but how difficult is that where Odunze could suddenly hit it on a reverse when you're trying to go inside?
I mean, they have a lot of tricks, you know, down the goal line. Biggest thing is don't let them get down to the goal line. I feel like even if they do get down there, we'll stop them again how we did in Seattle.
Brandon Dorles, I think it's clear. One of the keys is to get after the quarterback. Michael Penix made some truly unbelievable plays last time these two teams met in Seattle. Going to be a little different when they face off again. But I loved what he said. He was talking about Coach Tony. That's Tony Tuioti, the Duck defensive line coach. They know us. We know them. Yep. That about sums this one up, doesn't it? Evan Williams, though, a guy who has been playing with a massive club on his hand. Have you seen this thing? Well, he certainly knows what that's all about. Let's continue on the defensive side. Evan Williams talking about some of the matchups and the keys against Washington.
Dorles was just talking about how much he watches that film from Washington. Since that happened, how often have you thought about that loss since it happened?
I mean, I think everybody at this organization has probably thought about it every day. You know, it's not something that clears from your mind really quick. Yeah, I mean, we strive for perfection, strive for, you know, to reach a lot of goals, and that was just a big hiccup in our road. So, yeah, it's definitely something we remember. But yeah, you got to look at that film, even as much as you don't want to, just to learn from your mistakes and, you know, improve week by week. So, yeah, I think a lot of guys have taken pride in just, you know, getting better week by week from that week, and yeah, looking to make some changes and, you know, excel coming into this one.
How do you feel like this defense has improved since that game?
Probably just in our discipline, majorly just, you know, having everybody doing their job and trusting that their job is going to be enough. Because I feel like during that game, a lot of people, I mean, myself included, are just trying to do too much, you know, just hype for the moment and trying to do 10 jobs at once when really if you just do your job, the whole defense will work out. So, yeah, I think a lot of guys have just bought into doing their 1/11th, and as a whole, our defense has taken off, and, you know, we're hoping to keep that streak going into this one.
A couple of those touchdowns that gave up in that game looked like some miscommunication issues. There's a leverage one, and there's a different one on double coverage that got a little messed up. You think it was communication? You think it was, like you just talked about, guys trying to do too much? where's communication improved on this defense in the secondary too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, communication has improved tremendously. And, I mean, also give credit to them. You know, they got some great 50-50 guys, you know, that'll go up and get the ball anytime you make a mistake. But, yeah, just getting, you know, sign and co-sign is something we say. You know, getting signals on film, making sure everybody knows or is just on the same page, just because, you know, if we're all wrong, we're all right. You can't have a perfect call for any situation, but if everybody's playing the same thing, you're in a pretty good situation. So, yeah, definitely. I think we've improved in that area too. Just communicating throughout the defense. You'll see in our past few games, you know, a lot of guys are just making sure everybody gets a call from the far corner to, you know, backers screaming it throughout the defense. And I think that's led us to play more as a unit for sure.
What's so hard to take Odunze away from them? Why is it so difficult to do that?
I mean, you can't single cover them, basically. I think the whole nation has figured that out, that, you know, if you give him an island, those 50-50 balls are, you know, leaning his direction. So, yeah, he does a great job of, you know, getting up at the catch point and making those plays, not to mention he's a, you know, great route runner, great playmaker for them. But, yeah, I mean, those are a few things that makes him special. So, you know, just as a back end, it definitely challenges you to communicate, to just be disciplined in, you know, your calls, your checks. And I think our secondary is ready for the challenge.
You getting comfortable playing with that club yet?
No, it's tough to get comfortable too. Yeah, it's frustrating because you want to wrap up, be able to, you know, use your hands in coverage, coming down to tackle. So it's a little awkward, but, you know, practice by practice, you know, getting it down and getting it a little better. Hopefully we can shave it down a little bit. I heard they were calling it a butterball on live TV, which kind of hurt my feelings. So we'll see if we'll see what we can do.
How long does it take just to get it on game day or before practice?
It's not too bad. It's probably a little less than a 10-minute, maybe 5-minute. We've shortened it down to the process is shorter and shorter. But yeah, hoping, as I said before, hoping to make it not as, you know, standing out as last game for sure.
Penix is statistically quite different than when he played you guys last time. As one of the safeties who has the most time to react and whatnot, what have you seen that's different about him over these last 6 games? The completion percentage is a little different, their run game is a little different. What do you see that's just different about him? Right
yeah, I think you know, a lot of people have taken our game plan of just, you know, bringing pressure on first and second down and forcing him to, you know, get off his spot, because, you know, when he's comfortable back there, when he's, you know, getting his drop back, just comfortable in his drop back and making throws with timing. You know, he's, you know, the best in the nation basically. But you know, get him off his spot, get him a little uncomfortable, get his feet not set, and it's a different story. I don't think that's just for him, but for, you know, most quarterbacks, get him off the spot. And so yeah, I think doing our utmost to make him uncomfortable and not show him the same looks. And just be, you know, in tune with our disguise and our pressure plans. It's definitely going to be big coming into this one.
A lot of keys from Evan Williams, Duck defensive back. Still not quite comfortable with the butterball, the giant club that he had. I loved that. I think I'm always amazed. He's channeling a lot of Troy Dye for me with playing with the club. Remember the club against Washington for Troy Dye? I'm just putting it out there. When we come back, we'll wrap up with our Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Big schedule for the week ahead for Duck Athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mac here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Your Toyota Women's Sports Schedule Spotlight is all about Duck volleyball. Postseason, Thursday, 7 o'clock. That's the second game of the session. And then on the first game of the session, I should say, between Iowa State and Hawaii is at 4 o'clock on Thursday. NCAA second round will be Friday, December 1st. The winner of Game 1, winner of Game 2, hopefully that's Oregon. And then either Iowa State or Hawaii. Now, Ureski's got the call for you. ESPN Plus, KWVA right here in Eugene, live from Eugene. Toyota Women's Sports Schedule Spotlight. Toyota, let's go places. Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. We told you about the schedule for Duck volleyball just there. Oregon women's basketball is against Portland coming up on Thursday. That's tomorrow. Also on ESPN Plus. And Chris Clayton will have the call for us across the Oregon Sports Network with a 5:30 pregame show beginning from Portland tomorrow. We'll be tuning in from Las Vegas. Tomorrow, normal Duck Insider. We won't have a Duck Insider for you on Friday because it's game day in Las Vegas. 5 o'clock is when things will kick off on Friday. 3 o'clock is when the pregame show begins for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Then on Saturday, it's a big game. Oregon coming off a couple close losses to Santa Clara and Alabama, two really good teams in that tournament in Florida. They've now had a week to recover a bit, and Michigan, honestly, a poor showing in their multi-team event also. Michigan's coming off, I think, a disappointing tournament for them over Thanksgiving. 12:30, the tip-off on Saturday. Noon, the pregame show. I'll be here on the Oregon Sports Network. Sunday, 11 o'clock in Baylor, at Baylor, I should say, for women's basketball. See you tomorrow.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children